Israel Adesanya versus Robert Whittaker 2. I'm going to analyze each fighter's advantages, disadvantages, and then make a prediction as to who's going to win so that you can sound like an expert when you discuss this fight with your friends. This fight's going down on February the 12th at the Toyota Center in Houston. Let's start with age. Adesanya will be 32 years old. Whittaker will be 31 when this fight goes down. Whittaker will be younger by a year. That's advantage Whittaker. Looking at experience, Whittaker has 7 more professional MMA fights. But let's not forget, Adesanya has those 80 kickboxing fights and 6 boxing fights, something which Whittaker doesn't have at all. So let's just call experience a draw. Psychology. Adesanya has confidence in knowing he's undefeated in the middleweight division. And he knows he's already beaten Whittaker once. Been there, done it. Advantage Adesanya. As an added bonus, he also has the advantage of having done self-reflection after the loss to Yan. When you lose, you have to do some deep self-reflection and come up with a plan as to how you're going to get better. Do a SWOT analysis. Analyze your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Weight. Both fighters started at middleweight and are primarily middleweight fighters, so there's no real weight advantage or disadvantage to either fighter. Reach. Adesanya has a 6.5-inch arms reach advantage. Adesanya also has a 1.5-inch legs reach advantage. Height. Adesanya has a 4-inch height advantage, meaning Whittaker has to expend a lot more energy because he has to punch up when aiming for Adesanya's face. That makes the shorter fighter tired faster, so that's one of the reasons why height is an advantage. The other reason is that when you're taller and you're fighting a shorter opponent, you just have that psychological edge. So age is advantage Whittaker. Psychology, height, arms reach, and legs reach are advantages Adesanya. There is one advantage that Whittaker could have had to try and balance the scales, but he missed that opportunity. He's actually a legit black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Adesanya is only a purple belt. Whittaker lost to Adesanya 3 fights ago. If I was one of Whittaker's advisors, I would have advised him, gather all your trusted advisors, the brain trust. Let's watch film together and come up with a strategy on how to beat Adesanya if and when you get a rematch. And out of the film and discussion sessions, I would have advised him to target a submission win. That plays to his competitive advantage of having a higher BJJ belt. Whittaker's not going to knock Adesanya out. Adesanya is much longer and taller than him. Whittaker's not going to get a decision win because Adesanya will just keep you at a distance for 5 rounds and outland you. If Whittaker tries to fight on the inside, he'll take even more damage. Then he'll just be outlanded in strikes and significant strikes, and showing way more damage on his face, which influences the judges. Plus, the judges have always had a bias in combat sports where they favor whoever's the champion. Whittaker's only shot was to aim for a submission win. So all the upcoming fights until Whittaker saw Adesanya again, he needed to make them all submission wins so that by the time he saw Adesanya again, he would have been ready and actually had a shot at getting a submission win against Adesanya. But Whittaker didn't do that. He last fought Adesanya over 2 years ago. Since then, he's had 3 fights, but all 3 have been decision wins. Just so happens his last 5 wins have all been decision wins. He needed to have practiced submissions in real fight situations. But Whittaker hasn't had a submission win since August of 2011. That was over 10 years ago. Where was Whittaker's planning? Where was his film study? If this is purely a money fight, I get it. But Whittaker hasn't done the homework if he's serious about winning. He's not ready to fight Adesanya. You can't just expect to show up and submit one of the greatest middleweights of all time, a guy, by the way, who's undefeated in middleweight fights, in a real fight under bright lights in a pay-per-view event in front of screaming fans, just because you practice submissions in a gym. Whittaker needed to have submitted lesser fighters in real fights and then work his way up to Adesanya. Adesanya is going to use his arms, legs, and height advantage to just fight on the outside, keeping Whittaker at a distance. Take pot shots. Let him know that if he comes closer, he's going to pay an even bigger price. He's going to take even more damage. We've seen Adesanya do that in a lot of his wins, and we're going to see him do that again. I think Adesanya's strategy is going to be to outland Whittaker while minimizing his own damage, just like he did against Marvin Vettori. I'm a fan of both Whittaker and Adesanya. I've seen all of their UFC fights. I've watched Whittaker being interviewed, and I tune into Adesanya's YouTube channel every now and then. They're both likable guys from whenever I've heard them speak. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, but I see Adesanya winning by decision. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.